Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Yeah, no, I was just checking out this crazy collection over here. Yeah. Is it yours? It's mine. All this? It's been a crazy year, and I've been busy. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Riley's Collection. Today, we're going to be doing a 2023 collection tour video. You guys, I've been so amped to film this video yesterday. I cleaned my entire room so it'd be spotless for you guys so I can show off everything that I want to. And since this is a video about my collection, a little bit about me, I've been an action figure fan since I was just a small little boy. I used to get action figures from like Walmart and Target when I was in elementary school and then in middle school. But once I started getting older into middle school, you know, I really wanted the more pricier, more high-end figures because I thought they were more cool, because they are, you know, a lot of the times. But yeah, the more and more I got into the more expensive end of figure collecting, I didn't really have a job. I didn't get a paycheck. I wasn't buying any of my own toys, so my dreams of collecting action figures were kind of dead in the water. Fast forward to the beginning of 2021, that's when I really started collecting again. And in this video, I'm gonna take you through everything that I've amassed within the last year of collecting action figures and having a great time doing it. And because my collection is only a year old, it's on the more humble side of collections you'll see on YouTube. But trust me, there's still a lot here and still a lot to talk about. I mean, between you and me, I spent kind of a lot of money on figures this year. But before we jump into it, I just want to give a big thank you and shout out to anyone that's commented or liked or watched or shared any of my videos within the past month or two. It's been amazing talking to you guys in the comments. I really appreciate the support from all you guys, and I am going to be continuing to do the how to pose videos, and I'm also going to be trying to bring in some new fresh content as well. Everything's kind of up in the air right now. I do have some things planned, but I'm kind of just taking this week by week. But again, thank you guys so much for all the support. And if you're not subscribed, then maybe consider hitting that button. And I don't know if you guys know this, but hitting that subscribe button gives you lifetime free access to my collection. And that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. All right, guys, without further ado, let's ixnay the delay and get right into it. Okay guys, so in my collection, there are technically 8 different displays. Kind of 9, but not really. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with my 5 main shelves and then move on to the remaining 3 after that. So the first display we have here is my 616 Spider-Man display. Now, not everything on this shelf necessarily has to be from the 616 universe, but just related to comic Spider-Man in some way. And I guess, you know, the retro animated Spider-Man as well, but he fits right in, it's fine. So I don't think I'm going to go through every single figure, but I do want to talk about just a few of them a little bit more in depth, and maybe some of the history behind why I bought them, or when I bought them, or what that figure may mean to me. But as you can see over here on the left, we have various Spider people. We have the Marvel Legends Ben Reilly, we have the Mezco Spider-Man 2099, the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. This Spider-Man right here is actually a bootleg Mafex Spider-Man, and he is permanently going to be staying right where he is. I have some like pipe cleaners holding him to the side there, as well as this Miles right here. He is also attached to my shelf using a pipe cleaner, but we'll come back to this side in a little bit. I've actually done a how to pose video on this Spider-Man right here, that being the Renew Your Vows 2-pack Spider-Man. So if you're interested in that, check out the How to Pose playlist on my channel. As you can see here, I've also got the Null and Venom from that 2-pack. I thought that was an amazing 2-pack. I actually think that this Venom is quite possibly the best comic book Venom ever made. I absolutely love that figure. I really like the Null too, and the fact that they even did that 2-pack was just so amazing to me because I had been clamoring for something like that to represent King in Black, because it is just such an amazing storyline. And if you haven't read it, you should go read it because it's awesome. Moving over kind of towards the middle a little bit more, back here before we move too far away, we have, the deluxe Monster Venom in the back. Don't want to forget about that guy. He's pretty cool. On mine, the hinge is broken on the torso, so that's a little disappointing. It actually broke like the day I got this Venom. At least I had something to like kind of sort of replace it. Not really replace, but at least I had another working Venom with a working torso. But that was really, really disappointing, and he was not cheap on the secondary market. And then over here we have two black suit Spider-Men, or symbiote Spider-Man, if you will. We have the Mafex one right here. We have a Marvel Legends black suit Spider-Man on the pizza body. And then we have the one that came on the retro card right there. And I absolutely love that retro card symbiote Spider-Man. When that came out, it was like quite literally the best symbiote Spider-Man you could get, and I was so hyped to be getting that guy. And then up and towards the back, we have Carnage right here to go with the other symbiotes. This is the Absolute Carnage version, which I think is the best Marvel Legends Carnage there is. I'm just now realizing that like both Venoms and the Carnage I have are versions of those characters by Marvel Legends that have the like symbiote toes. And while I'm not like super into symbiote toes, like I don't mind them either, but it seems like every time they put like a lot of texture on one of those symbiote figures, they also give it toes. So it's like you can either have texture and toes or no texture and no toes. But if you know of any particular figures where that's not the case, please feel free to let me know in the comments. And then next to Carnage here, we have Shriek, which is a terrible god-awful figure that I never really wanted, but I impulsively bought because the rest of the wave was at the FYE where I found it, so it was just one of those things. Then moving over here, we have Shocker. That was a great figure to come out of the same retro wave as the symbiote Spider-Man for Marvel Legends. Right here we have Marvel Legends Retro Mysterio with a custom cape, and I think that looks really cool. I really prefer the cloth goods on him. Next to him on the left is Hammerhead, again from the same retro wave as the symbiote Spider-Man, and this is another great figure from that wave. Honestly, I think that Hammerhead and Shocker were the two best figures from that wave that I felt like not a lot of people were really talking about that much. Like, they did get recognition as good figures, but they weren't like the figures that people wanted. Like, obviously, like people want the Spider-Mans and whatnot, but like I found these guys warming the pegs quite often, pretty much everywhere I went, and like the whole rest of the wave was like very few and far between. I remember I actually only found one symbiote Spider-Man on the pegs at a Target like way after I had already gotten two of them. So yeah, that one was really hard to find. Then we've got the Game Reverse Miles again, but the stealth version right here. We've got the Rhino in the back there. I actually really like that Rhino. I know he's just a re-release, but I really do prefer the colorway on this Rhino as opposed to the previous one. And obviously the head sculpt is much more like animated series-esque, and it just kind of reminds me of that version of Rhino, which is my version of Rhino, so I love it. Then down in front of Spider-Man, we have Spinneret. Honestly, I felt like that figure was pretty overrated and underperforming. I honestly really don't understand why everyone praises that female buck that figure and Shriek are both on. I don't think it's a good buck. The torso articulation is just not there at all, and yes, while it is an improvement to older female bodies, it is still not where we need to be in 2023. So I was not impressed with that Spinneret. Then right next to her, we actually have the Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2099 back from like, I think 2015 that came out. And that's one of the figures I have in my collection that I've had since middle school. So I've had that a very long time at this point. Behind him, we have a Marvel Legends Scorpion, not the retro card one, the previous version. It's good enough. I got it for a good price loose, and it does the job. Then next to him, we have Morlun, which is from the same wave as Shriek, and yeah, there was... honestly, that Spider-Man No Way Home wave was pretty terrible. But I still bought the whole wave anyway. Then moving down over here, we have the Hobgoblin, which I thought was a terrible figure. Definitely the biggest dud from that wave. That wave was actually, that's again the same retro wave as the Symbiote Spider-Man. And that wave was really good overall, I think. But this figure right here was absolutely terrible. Then right in front of him, we have the Marvel Legends Iron Spider. This figure I was really hyped to get, and it kind of disappointed me, honestly. There were some things about it I just didn't like that much, and I honestly never play with him. But he does look really cool on the shelf, and he does look like Iron Spider, so I can't say that I'm not happy to have him, because I am. Next to him is the retro Green Goblin. And the eyes, the pupils on him are a little bit too big, and I debated about doing a custom job on it, but I got used to it pretty quick, and now I don't really mind. And this figure is just honestly really beautiful. It could probably use like a wash or something, but other than that, this is the Green Goblin figure in my opinion. And I also stole the glider from a Select Green Goblin. I just like went on eBay, found the Marvel Select version that had this glider, because this glider is dope. And then I just bought that for the glider, gave away the figure, and he looks awesome on there. And then next to the Green Goblin, we have the Spider Armor Mark III, and I got that figure as a gift for Christmas from my mom. So thanks, Mom, I love you. But in terms of the figure, it's nothing too crazy, and he kind of just stays there. That is when I can get him to stand. You'll notice both Spider Armor Mark III and Morlun are both leaning up against the side, and yeah, that was definitely intentional. And then we can't forget about right here, the PS5 Spider-Man Miles Morales Spider-Man. And this figure was just incredible. I saw this figure online when I was just getting back into collecting, and I just had to have it. The sculpt and detail is amazing. The articulation isn't the best per se for Spider-Man Marvel Legends, especially by today's standards. But it's still really solid, and it looks the part, and honestly, I think it's one of the best Marvel Legends that Hasbro's ever produced. All right, guys, here's the next display, and this one is my movie Spider-Man shelf. So this is everything I have that is Spider-Man movie related. Go figure. So again, we'll start on the right here. We have the Night Monkey Marvel Legends figure. I got this as a gift from my buddy James. I can't remember if it was for my birthday or Christmas. But I just remember it was a gift from him, and this figure is pretty dope. Not too great in the articulation department, but it looks really cool. I just have him like taped to my shelf. It's nothing fancy. It's literally just Scotch tape that's holding him there, but it's been holding him there for months now. So hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then below him, we actually have the What If Spider-Man, who I have as like just a homecoming Spider-Man at the moment, is what I wanted him to be as. But honestly, I might flip him back to like having the cape and the unmasked head, because honestly, this is not a great looking Spider-Man. He honestly looks much better with the other parts on him, but I was really not impressed with that figure. And then right here we have the No Way Home wave Doctor Strange. This is, to my understanding, one of the best Doctor Stranges that we've gotten. And the reason I picked him up is because I just ended up seeing the whole No Way Home wave at FYE, like I was saying when I was talking about Shriek. So I just bought all of them. But I really do like having him on this shelf. Adds a little bit more character diversity to it. And he does fit, seeing as he was in No Way Home. Right in front of him is the Prowler from Into the Spider-Verse. Honestly, this figure is really dope. Paint job's really nice, the articulation's pretty decent, and it looks like it jumped straight out of the film. And this was another one I got as a gift. This one was a Christmas gift from my stepbrother. So Dylan, if you happen to be watching this for some reason, thank you. And then right here next to the Prowler, we have the Integrated Suit Spider-Man Marvel Legends. I feel like I've been saying Marvel Legends quite a lot. But that's because I have a lot of Marvel Legends. I do really love the line, although I've been starting to lose a lot of interest with recent happenings in the Hasbro sphere. But luckily, the next figure I'm gonna point out here is the Mafex Spider-Man Homecoming figure right here, the Stark Tech suit. And that is just one of my favorite on-screen versions of Spider-Man ever. I love that costume. I mean, the movie, I love the movie too. But when I say one of my favorite on-screen versions of Spider-Man, I mean like strictly the costume I just think is awesome. It is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. Do I think it's the best Spider-Man movie? No, not by a long shot. But I still really love it a lot, and I needed to have this guy for sure. And then behind him, we have the black and gold suit from No Way Home, which ended up being kind of like a non-suit. So that was kind of disappointing. This figure isn't really accurate at all, but again, it was in that No Way Home wave, so I have it, so there it is. And then way in the back here is the figure, the first figure I bought back at the beginning of 2022, like end of 2021 type time, because it's actually been about like a year and like a month and a half since I started collecting. So it was really like the tail end of 2021, but that's all just semantics. But anyway, this was the first figure I bought for myself. I remember my buddy was telling me he started collecting McFarlane figures, so I picked up a couple of them for him because I found some gold labels, and that was really exciting for me, just buying stuff for him. So I had to start collecting my own figures, and for me, like, the obvious choice is to collect Spider-Man stuff, so I scoured everywhere, every store within like a 30-minute radius to find any Spider-Man figures I could. And I could not find a single Spider-Man, not a single one. But I did find this deluxe Vulture, and he is absolutely awesome. Still one of my favorite Marvel Legends in my collection. He just absolutely steals this shelf. He just looks so awesome with his enormous wingspan. And again, I love Spider-Man Homecoming. So it was just a no-brainer pickup. And then next to him, we have the Into the Spider-Verse Gwen Stacy, or Ghost Spider, or Spider-Gwen, or however you want to name her. There she is, looking epic. I actually really like that figure. It's not on the newest buck for female bodies, but it's still a decent one. Granted, not as good as the Spinneret body, but I don't know. I think the looks of this figure really makes up for the lack of articulation here. And then moving over here, we have the Mafex Iron Spider, the Endgame version. I actually picked this up at a convention. I picked it up at ZenkaiCon, I think for like, I want to say like $130 or something like that. He was an impulse buy. I usually don't, the more expensive figures in my collection, I usually don't buy outright. I'll usually put it on a payment plan or put it on credit or something like that, and then pay it back in pieces or pay back later. But, you know, I was at ZenkaiCon. It was a little bit of a vacation. I was feeling kind of impulsive. I had some money to burn, so I picked him up. And honestly, I wanted the SH Figuarts version, not the Mafex version. So I kind of kicked myself after the fact, because this wasn't even really the version I wanted. But they re-released the Figuarts version, and I have that on the way. So I'm definitely doing a how to pose video on that. And I might be selling this guy after that Spider-Man comes. So stay tuned for info on that. If I do end up selling him, I'll put the eBay link in the description of the video of the Figuarts one. But don't concern yourself with that right now. Just stay tuned, and I'll let you know if anything goes on sale or if I'm selling anything. Then behind him, we have J. Jonah Jameson. Nothing really notable about him, but hey, it's JJ. And what's not to love about having a J.K. Simmons action figure? Then right here in the front, we have Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse. This figure's honestly really good. It doesn't pose super well, but it looks so good. In my opinion, if you want Peter B. Parker displayed like this, you don't really need to have him in any crazy dynamic poses when he's in this outfit. So I think it does the job really, really well, and I really, really like this figure a lot. It just has so much charm. And then right next to him is Spider-Ham. I believe he came with Gwen, if I remember correctly. And then moving on over to here, next to Spider-Ham, we have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I believe this figure is for Spider-Man 2? I could be wrong about that, but it is a older, you know, I think this is a Toy Biz one, not one of the ones that Hasbro released later on. Because I'm pretty sure that was on a newer buck that they used for the newer Spider-Man 6-inch figures for the movie. Because there were a few different bucks that they used for the more superposable ones. So it's kind of a lot to keep track of. So I'm not entirely sure which one this is. I actually got this from a buddy back in middle school. I traded him some like GameStop gift cards for like just a buttload of his old action figures he didn't want. And somehow that was a good deal to me at the time. But I did get this guy out of it, and he's really awesome. I can't wait to compare him to the SH Figuarts version when that comes out, which I do have on pre-order. And then right above him, we have the SH Figuarts Integrated Suit Spider-Man. This is the first version, not the re-release. Obviously, at the time of recording this video, the re-release version with the more accurate colors is not out yet. But for me, the color inaccuracies don't really bother me. This figure still looks great in my opinion, and honestly, I kind of prefer the blues to the grays. It just makes it feel a little bit more classic, even though it's probably like the furthest you could get from classic when it comes to like live action interpretations. So honestly, I'm not too bothered about the inaccuracies, and this Spider-Man can pose up a storm. He's easily one of my favorite Spider-Man figs in my collection, and if you haven't played with this guy, I definitely recommend seeing if you can track one down for a good price, or if you know anyone that has one, just pick it up and play around with it, because it really is worth your time. It's super posable, and in my opinion, the SH Figuarts articulation is far superior to the Mafex articulation. Like, it's not even a debate in my mind. So yeah, I really love this Spider-Man and Figuarts in general. But yeah, specifically, I love this Spider-Man. And then moving on over here, we have, up top here, we have the Amazing Spider-Man figure from Hasbro back in like 2011 that came out, I think, 2011, 2012, right around the release of the movie. Along with this guy. They were in a 3-figure wave, I believe. It was these two and a Miles Morales figure. I don't have that Miles Morales figure, but I did get these two when they came out. And yeah, by today's standards, they're not really that great figures, but I've had them forever, and I played with this guy so much. There's a ton of wear on him from just how much love that figure received. I actually ended up losing him at like a family friend's house back in middle school. And like, I had no idea where he went, and I was so upset. And then like a year later, we went back and he was like, "Oh, is this yours?" I was pretty ecstatic, to say the least. And yeah, ever since then, I've had him in my collection. And moving on down to the next display here, we have my Iron Man shelf. I remember going to see the first Iron Man movie back in 2008. I was 7 years old. That movie blew me away and absolutely solidified Iron Man as one of my favorite superheroes. But I was an Iron Man fan even before that. I remember on the Disney Channel, I think it was like Disney XD, like early in the morning, they would like air old animated Marvel TV show episodes. And the 90s Iron Man animated series was one of those shows, if I remember correctly. But I just remember watching that show and thinking it was so cool with the armor up sequence and the modular Iron Man suit and the way that he carried it around in a briefcase. It was just awesome. I mean, that show is really campy nowadays, but that's where my Iron Man fandom started. Now, starting on the left here, we have the AI Iron Man right on the very end. That figure is just a repaint, or I guess if you could even call it a repaint. It's more of just a remold, because there's not really much paint on it, but it's like a repaint of the Mark 42, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a reissue of the Mark 42 armor, but it's supposed to be a comic book armor though, so it's a weird one. But yeah, that one looks okay. If you want an all blue translucent Iron Man, then that's the one for you, but other than that, it's pretty lackluster. Right next to him though is the Heroic Age Iron Man which is, I think, the Bleeding Edge armor, if I remember correctly. But he was in the Ironmonger Build-A-Figure wave way back from like Iron Man 3. Same with the Iron Patriot right next to him. They're both in the same wave. And I got those way back. I think that was like, it was either early middle school or late elementary school when that movie came out for me. I think it was middle school. I remember wanting to get the entire line, but I only ended up getting these 2 figures because, again, I was a kid and I had to wait until my parents said, okay, we can go to the store and we can get you a toy. So I never did get all of them, but I did get those 2. His legs are actually broken at the hips, so that's a huge bummer. I did glue them back on, but the one fell off again, so he's literally just balancing there. So if I move him, the leg will fall off. The Iron Patriot is still intact. He doesn't have all of his accessories that he originally came with, but he still looks badass. He's a little short though. And then moving on over to the right, we have the ZD Toys Iron Man Mark 7. It's the base version, not the light up version. Because I didn't know those existed when I bought this. And I had planned to buy more, and I still might in the future, but I have yet to do so. But that figure is awesome. They're 1/10 scale, they're not 1/6 scale, so they're a bit bigger than your Marvel Legends. But as you can see here, he fits in just fine if you pose him up right. And he looks fantastic. The paint job is immaculate, and it honestly just reminds me of like a mini Hot Toys. You do have to be a little bit more careful with the ZD Toys Iron Man figures though, because they are a little bit more fragile than Marvel Legends. And they're definitely less articulated than a lot of the Marvel Legends offerings, but they look really good and they definitely have enough articulation to get you into some serviceable poses for sure. Then next to him we have the Stealth Suit Iron Man. I think the Stealth Suit Iron Man is really pretty. I just really love the blue they use, but other than that, it's basically just a classic Iron Man. Behind them is the Endgame Thanos that came in the 2-pack with the Mark 85 Iron Man, and he's just here because I don't have anywhere else to put him, and he's Iron Man related. So yeah. And then over here we have the Modular Iron Man, which is easily one of my favorite Iron Man figures. It's just such a classic look for Iron Man, and they did so much justice to it in plastic form with this figure here. Then below the Modular Iron Man we have the Silver Centurion Marvel Select. That figure is quite literally amazing. It does scale bigger because it's Select, so he's not really the right size for this display. But I kind of just like to headcanon it that like, oh, well this armor is just a little bit bigger. Even though it's not really supposed to be. It's Iron Man, you can fudge it. He's a dude in a suit of armor, and that's what I'm going to do because this figure is too amazing not to have on my shelf. And then behind him we have the Mark 85 Iron Man. That figure honestly kind of sucks. I hate the red color that they used for it, and the articulation is pretty trash. And I overall really just didn't like that figure. I spent like 80 bucks on the Thanos Iron Man 2-pack, and I really was like not that impressed with it. But what really made it worth it was the Tony Stark head sculpts that it comes with, because the likeness is just so good on those. Definitely the best 6-inch scale Robert Downey Jr. head sculpts, period, in my opinion. And then we have right here the Marvel Legends War Machine and Marvel Legends Obadiah Stane right next to him. That deluxe War Machine is absolutely amazing. There's a video reviewing it on my channel. It's a little bit older though. I don't really do reviews on this channel anymore, but if you want to go check that out, you can. I think my newer videos are a lot better than my older ones, so you know, if you do go back and watch that one, there's definitely going to be a noticeable dip in quality. But it is there on my channel if you want to watch it. And then obviously the Obadiah Stane came in a 2-pack with that Ironmonger right there, and yeah, that figure is absolutely epic. I absolutely love that figure. It's not great for posing. You can get him in some really cool poses, but like he's not going to be super agile or anything. I mean, it's a giant suit of armor. But that's like really the draw of it, is that it's a giant suit of armor. And I just think it's really awesome. And then next to him, we have the Mark III Iron Man Marvel Legends. And Mark III is easily one of my favorite Iron Man armors. It's definitely like at least top 3, being the first like real Iron Man armor that he dons in the MCU, and that movie is just so iconic. It's one of my favorite MCU movies and one of my favorite movies of all time. So we had to have this guy. I think the red could have been a little bit darker on this guy. I think that would have looked a lot nicer. But other than that, he still looks great and he poses a treat. Definitely one of my favorite Iron Man figures in my collection. And last but not least, here we have Titanium Man Marvel Select in the back. That figure's fantastic. It really blew me away. That was actually my first Marvel Select figure I picked up along with the Silver Centurion, and both of those figures just absolutely blew me away and really opened my eyes to what Select is really offering nowadays. And then moving right along down, we have the anime shelf. And you know, I say anime shelf, but it's really mainly Dragon Ball with a little bit of other anime stuff sprinkled in there. Eventually, I do want to have a separate shelf for like miscellaneous anime stuff, and then one dedicated specifically for Dragon Ball Z, because that was my first anime I ever watched, and I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan, so I have to have a dedicated space for it eventually. But for right now, this is what we're working with. So starting on the right, we have this Rem statue right here that I picked up at the Too Many Games convention in the Philadelphia area. And as you can see down here, there's also another little Rem. I got that from a, well actually my buddy got it from a gacha machine while we were in Japan. I really love Rem as a character. I really didn't like ReZero, which is the show that she's from, but I did really like Rem as a character. And then moving along, we do have Super Boo right here, SH Figuarts, fantastic figure. I picked it up loose for about 80 bucks, and if you see what that figure's going for, that's a pretty good deal. So I snatched that right up. Came with all the accessories and everything, aside from the regular Boo head, which I don't need because I don't have that figure, and yeah, so it all worked out really nicely for me. And then I have this golden Frieza right here. It is Bandai, but it's not Figuarts. It's much more simplistic and kind of crappy, but I saw it at Target, so I picked it up. Over here, we have the SH Figuarts Frieza reissue. I absolutely love this figure. It looks amazing. It poses really well. Just everything you could ever want out of a Frieza figure. This thing has, aside from maybe, you know, blast effects and some other accessories like that, but you do get pretty much everything you need, and for 35 bucks, you can't go wrong. Behind him is Goku Black, another great figure in the same price range. Pretty much the same things I have to say about him as I do about Frieza. I mean, most of the Figuarts within that price range, and I mean most Figuarts in general, are just really good. I find that it's kind of rare that Figuarts, you know, really misses the mark. You know, there's things that bother me about a lot of their figures, but usually they're pretty on the money with what I want and, you know, what they're giving me. Right up here we have this little tiny golden Frieza right there next to this 2-star Dragon Ball, and I have my Hot Topic exclusive golden Shenron in the back there. All the way there in the back, we do have the Dragon Stars Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Yeah, I would not recommend picking up Dragon Stars, especially not that one. But they're usually really bad and definitely like not worth it in my opinion. Yeah, they're only 20 bucks. But like 20 bucks could get you something a lot better from another line. So I'd say rather than like spend 20 bucks on something like this, like save another $15 and buy like an entry-level Figuarts, and I think you'll be much happier with that purchase. Right in front of that Goku though is the Dragon Stars Beerus, which I think is actually a really good Dragon Stars, and I won't be needing another Beerus besides it, so that's one I can recommend, but I think it's about the only one I have or that I played with that I really can recommend. Right here in the front is the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta from Demoniacal Fit, and they did a fantastic job with that. I'm not going to say too much about it because I do have a video on this coming up very soon, so stay tuned for that. Over here next to him is the SH Figuarts Piccolo. I have a how to pose video, so if you want to go watch that, go ahead and do that. And then right here behind Piccolo is the Master Grade Super Saiyan Goku model kits. It's like the Awakening form, I think, like when he goes Super Saiyan for the first time.
And yeah, that's really sick. It was really fun to build. I bought it in Japan. When you move the arms, the muscles flex, and I think that's the coolest thing ever. But yeah, I spray painted the hair yellow because it's more of like a metallic gold out of box. And I painted on the eyes, and I did some other things, gave it like an orange wash on the pants. But I had a lot of fun with it, and it's one of my favorite pieces on this shelf because it's just really unique. And then over here we have yet another Rem statue, and next to that we do have our Anime Heroes Luffy, which I actually think is a very solid figure for the money. I think they're actually doing some pretty cool things with that line. Do they compare to Figuarts? Not at all. Are they a step up from Dragon Stars? Absolutely. Anything is. And then all the way in the back here we do have some pops. We've got Cell, we've got Super Saiyan Goku, and Final Form Frieza right there. I do have my Scouter hanging out on top of the Frieza box there. Then coming down over here, we do have the SH Figuarts Son Goku from the movie that just recently came out, the Dragon Ball Superhero movie. This is a great Goku. I absolutely love that figure. Again, at the same price point as the Frieza and the Black Goku. Right here, the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan 1 and 2 Gohan. It does come with both heads. That figure is hella old. That's another one I got in middle school. I bought that at Barnes & Noble for like 30 bucks. And I thought it was incredible. Really outdated by today's standards, and I will probably be seeking an upgrade in the future because that is my favorite form of any character in any part of Dragon Ball is Super Saiyan 2 Gohan in the Cell Saga. So I'd really like a version with updated joints, but for now, this one is still really good and looks really great with my other Figuarts. Next to him, we do have the Demoniacal Fit Majin Vegeta right here. That's another great Demoniacal Fit figure. I don't think it's as good as the Blue Evolution, which again, I'm not going to talk too much about, but it is still really good and it looks great with the other Figuarts. And then next to him, we have the Figurize Majin Buu kit right there. Or I'm sorry, Kid Buu model kit. All my Dragon Ball Z model kits I bought in Japan, and they're all pretty good. But the Figurize standard kits, the smaller ones, are more akin to like a high grade, where the Awakening Goku is a master grade. These are more like a high grade. So these are much simpler, much faster builds, and smaller figures. And then right over here we have yet another Rem statue. That one is actually my favorite. I think it's just super cute with her having her popsicle there. And then behind Rem we have another Figurize standard kit, the Super Saiyan Blue Goku standard kit. And right in front of him is the SH Figuarts Cooler P Bandai exclusive. That figure is awesome. I bought him on the secondary market for like 150 bucks, I think. So yeah, definitely not cheap, definitely an expensive one if you're looking to get it right now. But it is so worth it, worth every penny. Articulates amazing, paint job is phenomenal. It's just everything I wanted out of a cooler figure and more. Then kind of towards the middle back here, we have the Dragon Stars Future Trunks. That figure is dog shit, enough said there. And then the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Blue Goku, which is what I like to think is the counterpart to the Goku Black. They both have like the same hairstyle as far as like they both have the metallic hair instead of like a matte finish. So they look really good together, and they're both phenomenal figures. This is one of the best Gokus I've been able to get my hands on in terms of like quality control and, you know, just the joints being, you know, easy to use and that kind of thing. Okay, so my bottom shelf here is the Ninja Turtles shelf, and I have to freehand film this because my tripod just cannot get low enough to film down here. But starting over on the left, we do have the NECA Foot Soldier. Amazing figure, great for army building, comes with a ton of accessories. multiple heads. If you want to army build foot soldiers, this is the figure to do it with. Absolutely amazing. And then over here we have the 4 Battle Shell Turtles from the 2012 cartoon by Playmates. Those are all great figures, simplistic, but they look great. And you know, they're just kids' toys, things that I've, you know, held on to throughout the years, that I got when I was a kid, when I was watching that show back in 2012. In the back here, we do have the 2007 movie TMNT Raphael. I don't remember how I got this. I just remember like I happened upon it somehow. Somebody gave it to me, or I found it, or I don't know. But this was not originally mine. I did not buy it from a store, but I have it somehow. And that movie was great. Then next to him back there, we have the Archer Leonardo from the 2012 series. We have Turflightle Mikey right there. Up in the front here, we do have our 87 Turtle Repros. That the funny story there is that my buddy went and hunted all of these down. He collected all 4 turtles. He really wanted to find all of them, and he was like, once he got all the figures, all 4 turtles, he essentially was like, yeah, so I don't want these anymore. And so he calls me up and he goes, hey, do you want these turtles? You know, I just got all of them, and I realized I don't actually want them, which is wild to me. So I was like, all right, well, if you're not, you know, if you're getting rid of them, I'll take them. And I'm glad I did, because I think they look really, really great on this shelf, and it really just ties the whole thing together, in my opinion. And then right here we have the movie, the 1990 movie NECA, Raphael and Michelangelo, and they look absolutely stunning. I absolutely love these figures. I need to get Leo and Donnie eventually, but for now I just have these 2. And then behind them we do have the Michael Bay movie, Raphael and Donatello by Playmates. The sculpts on those are really cool. Unfortunately, those movies were absolutely terrible. So yeah, that's why they're in the back. And then right here we have the OG 2012 Leonardo, like the versions of the turtles they released like before they had the proper images of what they look like in the show. So they kind of ended up looking sort of like a mashup between the 2012 and like the Mirage Comics turtles. And it's a really cool aesthetic. This one has like blue paint all over it because I tried to customize it into an 87 Leonardo, but I ended up undoing all of that and just having it the way he is there. And yeah. Then behind him we have the version 1 Shredder from the same series from Playmates. We also have Rocksteady from that same series. Fish Face, again from the same series. And then we have the 2.0 version Shredder with the removable helmet over here on the side. He also has a removable cape. But you can't bend his knees, so that was always a little bit disappointing. But he looks a lot more show accurate and a lot better than the V1 back there. And then right here at the top of the shelf, we have our, what I like to call Gundam Power Rangers display. There's not really a great name for it because it's kind of like a mashup of a couple different things, but we'll get into it. So over on this side, we have some Gunpla. We have the Gundam Lifrith limited version, the recirculation colors. I have a video of that up on my channel. It was my last upload before this one. So if you want to see more of that guy, check that video out. Then behind him, we have the high grade RX-78-2. And then the master grade RX-78-2 behind him. Then right there we have the Gundam Barbados high grade, which is a terrible, terrible, awful high grade. And you should not buy that specific one. I think there's a couple versions, but I don't remember which one that one is, but it was not good. Terrible build. Doesn't stay together very well, and I never touch him. Then right here we have the Blazing Gundam. The red one is Blazing Gundam high grade, and then this one right here is the Gundam Helios high grade. And those are both great kits. Had a lot of fun building both of those, and I love the wings on Gundam Helios right there. Then right here from the same line as these two is the Command Gundam, 00 Command Gundam, I believe this one is called, but this one is really rad. I love the green color scheme on him, and he is just armored to the teeth. It's very, very cool. Then right here we have the Master Grade Eclipse Gundam, and that's actually not finished. I still have to build like his accessories and his stand and stuff, so that's still needs to be completed, and I am working on a video for that guy, so stay tuned for that if you want to see that. And then right here we have the giant 12-foot tall Mega Gundam, which is basically the HasLab Galactus of my collection. It is very big and very stunning. We have the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Vulcan right here, from Kamen Rider 01. I watched Kamen Rider 01, absolutely loved it. Had to pick up this figure because it is my absolute favorite character from the show. And then back here we have the Flame Toys Optimus Prime model kit, which is a pretty okay kit. Definitely has some issues, but if you like the look of it, it's worth picking up, I think. Especially if you can find it at Hobby Lobby on sale, because then it's definitely worth it. And then over here we have some Power Rangers. I think this one is In Space Pink. That's Dino Charge Green. And this is, oh, I forget what Power Rangers series he is, but I'm really not that into Power Rangers at all. I just thought that the Lightning Collection stuff looked really cool, and I just wanted to see what it was all about. So that's why I've got these three guys here, and it was a lot of fun playing with them when I got them. I did some stop motion with them, and yeah, absolutely love those figures. Then moving over here to this side of the room, we do have our Mortal Kombat figures right here. It's a pretty small section. We also have the Armadillo Build-A-Figure right here from the Spider-Man No Way Home Build-A-Figure wave. And that figure is pretty good, but like it's Armadillo, so I really don't care about it. I'm not sure why I bought the whole wave to build it. I think I was just excited to finally complete a Build-A-Figure for the first time, you know, because I'd always wanted to as a kid. But here's the Scorpion figure I have. I do have a how to pose video on him if you want to see that. Unfortunately, my kunai with chain here is drooping. Gravity has not been kind to it. And then right here we have the Shadow of Spawn, which is one of my favorite figures of 2022. Absolutely stunning figure. Got that custom, not custom, but I got that axe accessory for it off eBay, and it looks great. Yeah, absolutely adore that figure. Then we have Shao Kahn back there. We've got the blue Mortal Kombat Spawn, which is still a good figure, but definitely not as good as that one. And then in the back, we got our purple Sub-Zero, looking pretty cool, but that figure is honestly kind of trash. The articulation's not that good. It's pretty loosey-goosey, and I don't like to mess with it too much. And then we have the Multiverse Libramejo Batman. I think that's how you say his name. The artist that this Batman is based off of. Yeah, this one's okay. The shoulder pad on one side fell off of mine, so I took the shoulder pads off both sides and like sanded them down, and I think it looks fine. But that was a little bit disappointing, and I don't like that he's green. It's really weird. And while we're talking about Batman, I do have the Mafex Hush Batman right here on this like little zip line. And then he's got the McFarlane gold label Azrael chasing him. And I think that looks kind of cool. I don't really have too many Batman figures. In fact, you've seen all of the Batman figures I have already. So I don't really have a shelf for Batman, so that's why he kind of hangs out over here, and I thought this was a cool little idea. And then I also have like artwork that I've done and artwork I bought like throughout my setup over here. I bought this at Too Many Games. There's this guy that does like ballpoint pen artwork, and it's really, really cool. I absolutely love that. And then we've got Gurren Lagann, again, got that at Too Many Games. This Spider-Man drawing, I actually drew that for a tech project. I went to tech for graphic design, so that was my art history project, actually. Yeah, anytime I can, you know, I could have weaseled my way into being able to draw superheroes and things like that, you know, for school projects. I always did. And while we're talking about the stuff that I put up on my walls, this right here, I call the Beyblade wall. It's just a bunch of packaging from different Beyblade products I bought over the span of collecting Beyblades. But I think I will be selling the rest of my Beyblades. I already sold the majority of them, and I think I'm going to sell the rest of them and probably take all of this down because I just kind of am not that into Beyblade anymore. Like, I got back into it off of like pure nostalgia. Helped me get through a depression, but now that like I'm over that part of my life, yeah, I just don't really feel the connection to this anymore. And then over here we've got an awesome Spider-Verse poster. There's another drawing of Spider-Man that I did. This is my closet in here. We've got some Gundam kits up there, some stationery, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some Xbox games, a bunch of boxes. This is for my buddy. I picked that up at Five Below. That's to go with his Diva Figma figure. So I thought that would be cool. Just so that you guys can see, that's my Beyblade collection currently. There's a ton of stuff in there and I'm not going to go through it, but it's there. I'll probably be selling it. And then in this corner of the room, we've got some posters. Right here, we've got another shelf of figures. We'll get to that. And then we have the Retro Wave 2 of the Spider-Man retro carded figures. I don't have the one wave before this. I just have this wave. Reason being is because the wave before this, I was not collecting yet when that came out. And then when I started collecting, this was just on the horizon, and I wanted, you know, almost every figure in here. So I was like, well, I gotta get the whole wave. So I did get the whole wave, and then once I had the whole wave, you know, I started seeing more and more of them pop up on store shelves. So I was like, well, you know, maybe I'll see if I can get all of them in box, and sure enough, I did, and I got pretty much all of them for a good price, except for the Symbiote Spider-Man. I think I overpaid for that, but not as much as I overpaid for it the first time I bought it. But yeah, that one was just really hard to find, and I wanted to complete the inbox set there. And then over here we have a drawing of Venom that I did in high school. And I just went really crazy with the cross-hatching there, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I think that was for Inktober. And then right here we have the final display, guys. I know it's so sad to be at the end of the video, but this is the final display we have here. And it's just miscellaneous stuff, just stuff that I don't really have a place for. So I've got my movie Deadpool here that I absolutely needed to have. Spent $70 for that 2-pack just to get this Deadpool because, let's be honest, nobody wanted this Negasonic figure. But this Deadpool is amazing, and in my opinion, it's a better option than the Figuarts one, and was less expensive at the time as well. I don't know what it's going for right now, but if you can find it loose for a good price, definitely totally recommend that. We've got the McFarlane Todoroki, and I forget what this character's name is, but those were Christmas gifts this year from my stepsister, so they're on this shelf. And then I've got Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. I bought that at GameStop when I was a kid, so I've had that for many years now. That's a McFarlane Toys figure. And then this Xenomorph right here, the alien big chap. That was a gift from my buddy James when we were in middle school. He surprised me with it, and I honestly just didn't know what to say. Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time, and to get this figure at that time was actually amazing. It was the best figure that I'd ever held in my hands at the time, and I was just so blown away by it. Nowadays, it's, you know, pretty lackluster compared to what we have now from SH Figuarts and SH Monster Arts. But for back then, it was really great, and it was a really affordable price, and even now, it still looks fantastic on the shelf, and the little tongue, you know, pops in and out of the mouth. Oh, there goes Deadpool. We'll get him back later. But yeah, just absolutely stunning, and, you know, obviously has a lot of sentimental value to me because of my buddy. Then we have this Charizard right here. I have a video of that on my channel if you want to go check that out. It's a review. Again, it's one of my older videos, so be wary, but this is a pretty cool figure. And then back here we have an Abomination figure from the Hulk movie. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that one.
So that's gonna bring us to the end of this 2023 collection tour video. I'm only gonna do probably one of these a year. This was a lot of work. I definitely underestimated how much time and effort and editing this was gonna take, but I am definitely gonna be editing this until the late night. So definitely smash that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Please let me know what you think of the collection. Do you like the figures? Do you hate the figures? Which figures do you have? Which figures do you wish you had? Which figures do you have that I don't? Which figures do you think would go great with my display? Let me know all those things down in the comments, and I will respond to every single one of them. I do read all the comments. With all that said, have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one.